He is, of course, the great Hall of Fame writer, now writing for The Athletic, among other ventures. The great Jayson Stark is brought to us by DraftKings. Hello, Jayson.
Hi, Mike. How are you, my friend?
Well, let's see what we have here, right? I mean, I don't want to get too carried away with criticizing them not winning a doubleheader over Boston. They probably should have, but they've been playing good baseball, despite the fact that their bullpen really hasn't helped out that much. So what do you make of it?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny how we talked about this last week, how those trades felt like they had at least stabilized that pen, but the performance wasn't reflecting that, and it's still not. The bullpen's ERA is still 7.24 for the year. 7.24. And, I mean, since the modern save rule, there's no team in National League history that's ever even been within 2 runs of that and win a postseason series, right? So
Wow.
it's bizarre. It's bizarre to try to cover a flaw that's glaring.
Yeah, and how they've been covering is they haven't had any trouble scoring runs. And so I don't know. Unless this whole thing dries up, they're going to be a team that looks like is going to score runs.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're a top 6 offense in the major leagues, and their rotation, at least 1, 2, 3, is certainly playoff worthy. It's worthy of a playoff team. It's just how much of the good stuff can the bullpen undo? Well, so far, a lot. But in a year where 16 teams are going to make it, they don't have much excuse not to make it with a team like this.
Yeah, I agree. So I don't fret. But here comes 7 games to the Marlins now,
Wow.
and I don't know how to read this. What could possibly happen? The Phillies are a better overall team than the Marlins, are they not?
Oh, they're definitely more talented than the Marlins, top to bottom. I mean, like, when you start thinking about what's happened to the Marlins since the last time the Phillies played them, it's crazy. You know, that week after the pandemic delay, the Marlins had to make 40 roster moves. So that team that they got off to that 10-3 start with, that wasn't even their real team. It was a bunch of guys that they collected off the waiver wire, walking around the streets, and now they're back to phasing in what was supposed to be their actual team. And I don't know what to make of them. I've always thought they've got good arms.
Yeah.
They got better arms now that Sixto Sanchez is there.
Yes.
But how talented the team is on the field, their team versus the Phillies team, I don't think there's much comparison.
Let's talk about Sixto. Listen, we all know how coveted a prospect he was, but I don't think the Phillies were that heartbroken when they got JT for him. Now, did they anticipate that he was going to blossom this soon?
You know, you and I used to talk about him before that trade 3-4 years ago, so there was never any doubt that he could be this guy.
Uh-huh.
Never any doubt of that. The question was, he had trouble staying on the field. He wasn't always making that much progress. The results didn't always match the stuff. There are a lot of guys with great stuff in the minor leagues who never turn into aces. And if you have a chance to trade for the best catcher in the major leagues and you're trying to win, you need to win, your front office has a mandate to win, the trade for the catcher is a trade that you make. Doesn't mean that you can't be haunted by what you give up. And this guy, he certainly has a chance to haunt them. 45 pitches already at 99 or faster. 45.
Yeah, here's my weakness. I prize an ace ahead of almost everybody, even maybe a 40 home run guy. Well, maybe not, but an ace is important to me. So, right. Let's just have a barroom convo here. If we had a chance right now to reverse that trade, would reversing it be the right thing or the wrong thing?
Well, it'd be a lot easier to know the answer to that if you knew how the season was going to turn out.
Yeah, I get it. And you don't know how the JT free agent thing. But let's just pretend everything is even. What's more
in a perfect world, if you're just making these decisions based on as if it's a math equation, and it's not
Yes.
something that's happening in real life where
Yes.
people like you and me are perusing every move. You don't ever make that trade. 2 years of control of a catcher for a potential ace that you could control for 7 years. You would never do that. If you're looking at the math, you would never say that makes mathematical sense.
Mm-hmm.
But wasn't there pressure to win? Like, wasn't that pressure to win a big force in why they made that deal?
Yeah.
There's no
there
doubt that
was.
it was. Everybody
Yeah,
felt it.
I understand that at the time you have to act. I'm just like playing with the concept now because I love an ace that throws 100. I just I love that because I don't have to worry about that ever.
There's not that many of them walking around the planet.
Exactly.
Right? And you and I, it's funny, you and I used to talk about this. This was like even 4 years ago when the Phillies system was looked at as being one of the better ones. And what do we always used to say? There's a lot of players there who will play in the major leagues. There's almost no stars.
Yeah.
The one guy with star power was this guy.
Yep.
This is before they drafted Alec Boehm, before they drafted Spencer Howard. Sisto Sanchez was the one player in the system with a chance to be a perennial all-star. And now he's got a chance to do that for some other team.
Yeah. When does he face the Phillies in this series?
Well, he just pitched yesterday. I believe they're off today, right? So it's likely Monday is what it feels like.
Okay, so we got to
Don't
wait
miss that.
We got to wait that long next month. All right.
Yep.
Now you brought Boehm. We got to talk about him because here's the thing I noticed about him. He always keeps his hands inside the ball, and he's got great pitch recognition. Like he was unfazed by two decent curveballs in that at bat yesterday.
That's right.
When he he hits the ball to left field, he hit the other one to right field, but he was on both of them. And like his pitch recognition for a kid that young, I haven't seen him get fooled really. He missed a couple fastballs, but he hasn't been fooled. What are they saying about him?
Yeah. I had a conversation with one of their guys about him a few days ago, and we got onto an interesting topic. He has pretty much the lowest launch angle in that whole lineup because he doesn't have that big uppercut swing. And you know what's noteworthy? They've left him alone. Now, I want you to think about how the previous regime was approaching hitters. And you tell me what would have happened. I think it's impossible to believe that they would have allowed a guy with that swing without the big uppercut to keep doing it the way he does it. But like this regime understands that's what allows him to wait so long and allows him to let the ball travel and then drive it all over the field. I think that's a sign of how talented he is, but I think it's also a sign of the impact this coaching staff has made that the previous staff was unmaking.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to evolve a little bit because I think they would like to get 35 home runs out of the kid, and he may have to change his. He's got his hands close and up rather than in a power hitting position. So I think that'll evolve a little bit.
Yeah, but he's such a talented hitter. Just his approach in those big spots. He's hitting .458 with runners in scoring position and more walks than strikeouts. He doesn't get fooled. He doesn't swing and miss. He doesn't go out of his comfort zone. He completely has a plan for how to approach big at bats. Well, I wouldn't touch that.
Yeah.
That is an important commodity in today's game.
Yeah, no, you're right. All right, so what are they going to do about center field these days? They don't want to grind up Harper, but it looks like they're going to have to for a little bit, huh?
Yeah, I don't know what to make of Bryce on many levels, but Joe indicated after the doubleheader last night it didn't seem like Scott Kingery is close to coming back. Because of McCutcheon's knee injury, they don't want to put him out there. Roman Quinn's gone through the concussion protocol, so he's still a little ways away. They're going to have to mix and match like this, do it like this for a while. it's incredible that you've got 60 players in your player pool, and there are just no outfielders. That's why they're in the situation they're in. You run into this roster bind where if you have to take somebody out of that pool, you're going to lose them. So they're in a bind.
I know they added him, but is there any chance that they try Moniak up here?
I haven't heard that.
Okay. All right. That's Tyrone's guy. He wanted to hear a positive on that. That's why I asked him. He's a big Moniak guy.
I don't think he's ready for that.
All right.
I don't think so.
All right, Jayson. Always great stuff, man. And we'll talk to you next week.
Mike, always a pleasure. Happy football season.
You too, buddy. There's Jayson Stark, brought to us by Draft Kings.
Mike Missanelli, afternoons from 2 to 6 on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.